Live free from praise and blame. I love this old story from the time when Christianity was not yet a state religion. That was the time before the year 400. There was the early Master Eckhart, Evagrios Ponticus. He was a Christian teacher for something called transcendental meditation. So that was such a great mysticism which Master Eckhart later lived out, again in great form. And at that time there were, of course, great mystics, great masters. They often lived in small hermitages, so there weren't that big monasteries in the Egyptian desert. So, a student comes to the master and asks him, "How do I become happy?" I like to say the word happy instead of blissful, because it's another old priest's trick that you no longer expect what is promised in religion in this life. And that's why there's a special language for a special world that you're somehow put off to. It's vague. And I think it's not fair from a business perspective that you get some vague product. You can't check anything in terms of quality assurance. So I'll translate the entire mysticism into words that you can check in your everyday world so that the product is clear. So, Master, how do I become happy? And then the master says, go to the cemetery and praise the dead as much as you can. Praise the dead, and when you have done that, come back to me. So the student goes to the cemetery and praises the dead and flatters him as much as he can. Oh, you great pillars of society, your works can still be seen today. I am proud of you and what you have achieved. You have magnificent tombs here, and I bow to you and all that. Yes, when he's had enough of it, he goes back to the master and says, okay. And the master just asks him, and what did they answer you? Yes, nothing at all. All right, go to the cemetery again. And now blame the dead, so revile them as best you can. What don't you do to be happy? So he goes back to the cemetery and really makes fun of the dead. Oh, dust you are, and you have tried so hard, and what is left? Dust. Your name is also slowly withering away here, and what you have built will be forgotten by the next generation. Not lived at all, and that's how I imagine it. Then he has had enough, despises the dead, and goes back to the master. And he just asks again, and what did they answer? Yes, nothing again. Become like one of them, and you will be happy. And you will notice that if you follow the rule, you will truly become yourself. Anyone who praises or blames you, anyone who gives you censure, anyone who flatters you or threatens or punishes you with their contempt, has their own standard, and even if you internalize their praise, you are internalizing the standard. The more you follow his praise, the more you internalize his standard. And if you are such people, as I have perceived for many years in my life, with poor self-esteem, you try to please as many people as possible, and the more people you please, the more torn you become, because everyone has a few different standards, and that's why no stable identity can emerge. The crises are inevitable. That's why even in my 3 basic exercises of mystics and coaching, there is something like the act of bliss. I used to call it an act of will, and that's how it works. You have some activity in life that you love more than anything. And in this activity, you are completely yourself. You do the thing without anyone praising you or complaining. This could be that you like to skate around in the half pipe or do gardening, knitting, climbing, hiking, painting, dancing. This is an activity that I say in seminars myself. If I praise you for it, you would just laugh at me. You just do them because you love them. When you do this activity, you are not torn. Body, ropes, and spirit are then like a well-tuned triad. This is self-motivated action. And if you pay close attention to it, you will also have a very specific body feeling. The body becomes wide and open. The soul expands, simply because you are you. You no longer squeeze yourself into the expectations of others. From now on, you are guided internally and no longer guided by social expectations or help, what the neighbors say, or, oh, if you do that, then I'll feel ashamed of you. Anyone who treats you like this wants to control you. He manipulates you. Enhochi. Often people aren't even aware of this and say, I only want what's best for you. Still, it harms you. And a lot of your life has come to you from someone else's standards. That's not you. By now doing the blissful act every hour, you switch again from external programming to self-control. You then increasingly do things simply because you love them. Here again, for those who don't know the exercises, it's very simple. What is your favorite activity? Even if I order you or even if I reprimand you for it, you will continue to love her. How do you feel about your body? Shorten the thing to a mini movement and do this movement every hour. Like while you're with other people. Above all, it always comes down to a physical feeling. Wow, now I'm sea kayaking, or now I'm hanging on the climbing wall. And as a result, you now internalize the feeling of free, self-determined action in the same way that you were poisoned before. You are no longer everyone's slave or everyone's servant, and you are no longer selling yourself just to boost your unstable self-esteem. Internalize that. You will throw the foreign rulers out of you. How do you become happy? By no longer following praise or criticism from other people. Good luck in your life.